How's it going, everybody? This is Seer here, and today we are revealing for you guys the Accursed team. This is the new Cosmic Crucible team coming to the game, and as you can see, we are getting reworks to Mordo and Juggernaut, which we kind of figured something was happening since they gave away 3 diamonds of that global milestone. So it's very cool. They saved us resources to where we don't have to end up searching that elite store or trying to pull those diamonds. We just got that 3 diamond for free on each of them. Very excited about that. For the other 3 characters, we can see from the teaser of the silhouettes that's on here, we have Satana, the Hood, and Helverine. Now, the Hood is going to end up being in the Ironheart TV show as the villain, and it's very cool that he's coming to the game. He's an amazing character, and very excited to have him actually join the game because he kind of is not getting his due recognition for how cool he actually is. For Helverine over here, it's basically the spirit of vengeance demon ended up possessing Wolverine. Then that transitioned over to Dakin, and that whole series came out last year in 2024. And this is the Dakin version. So you can see the brown tattered clothes, that yellow mustard tights that's on here, and that flaming mohawk, which is pretty awesome if you ask me. Now, Satana over here is the most interesting one that actually came, because over here they end up doing a video about 2 weeks ago for Marvel Strike Force where they kind of doing some teases for Franklin Richards. However, later on in the video at the very beginning, when I was kind of taking my screen captures, they showed Damian Hellstorm on here along with Satana, and it was kind of odd to me that they threw those 2 characters on there because they're not in the game. They didn't have anything really to do with that. Well, they are coming to the game for the Accursed team. So let's go ahead, take a look at this blog, and kind of do a breakdown on this team. Overall, the team looks like they're going to be very strong in Cosmic Crucible. Outside of that game mode, though, I want to see a little bit more from them. They seem kind of like the Liberty or Absolute A-Force for how strong they are in war, but they don't really transition to that other game mode. So that's what it kind of feels like to me. But let's go ahead, read this, and we'll kind of talk about what's going on with them. So, bound by curses and empowered by darkness, a new squad is on the way to spread eternal torment in battle. The Accursed. This team is a menacing warriors, are all afflicted with a curse in one form or another that also endows them with incredible power. A power that grows to terrifying heights in Cosmic Crucible. Juggernaut and Mordo are undergoing big upgrades to lead their new Accursed allies, Satana, Helverine, and the Hood, in casting a spell of domination in the Cosmic Crucible ring. For the Accursed, the Accursed may carry a terrible hex, but they spread misery onto enemy teams with curses of their own. Each new character leaves their mark on enemies during battle. So for Satana, she's the daughter of a demon, and she is a support who pilfers enemy life forces. She steals enemy health with all of her abilities, rejuvenating her allies and weakening foes, especially with her ultimate. So what her ultimate does, it steals enemy health and redistributes it to all Accursed allies, bypassing heal block. If you have a full team of the Accursed in Crucible, this attack can heal steal a total of 5 times. So that sounds very powerful. It's going to be that single target, and if you have characters that can do that many hits, it's really easy to kind of punch through their death proofs and just kind of get that killing blow on them. So that's a very powerful move. On enemy death, Satana, not Satan, steals 5% health per Accursed ally, bypassing heal block, and fills her team's speed bar. Now for Helverine, he has the Curse of the Exposed. Bonded with the Spirit of Vengeance, Helverine permanently holds his enemy's feet to the flames of eternal damnation with a wicked exposed mechanic. This exposed mechanic is really interesting as far as how this is going to end up working. So at the start of every Helverine turn, if no enemy has exposed, he's going to apply exposed to the most injured enemy. Every attack gets a serious boost with an exposed enemy. If more than one enemy has exposed, Helverine's going to clear all enemy exposed and heal for 25% of his max health. So if you can get another character out there, like say a Mephisto or Kahori, something like that, where they apply that exposed when it goes to his turn, he's going to be healing for that 25% max health. Very interesting how that's going to end up working. For the Hood has the Curse of the Accursed attack. Carrying a hex from Dormammu himself, the Hood curses its enemies with each and every Accursed attack. After a successful attack by the Hood or an Accursed ally, he applies bleed and heal block to each attacked target. The Hood's basic is the curse that keeps on giving, bonus attacking 5 times after the initial attack, allowing him to chew through effects like evade and deflect. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about Satana first, and then we're going to go through the list, and then the reworks are going to be at the end like usual. So Satana is a villain, cosmic. This is mystic, not mythic. It's a typo. Support, Accursed. She does not have a speed of 124. It's actually 125. She's going to be going first on the team with that 125 speed. 125 is kind of like the new 120. Back in the day, 120 was like, you're fast. 125 is, it's okay. That's kind of how it is in today's meta, because so many characters spawn with extra turn meter on spawn, speed bar fill up, or even speed up on spawn. So 125 isn't anything fancy. However, in Crucible, they're going to shut down all of the speed up mechanics that's actually going to be on there. It's pretty crazy as far as in Crucible what they could end up doing. So for the basic Burning Touch, attack primary target for 160% piercing, steal 10% health from the primary target, redistributes 150% of the health stolen to self and all accursed allies. This bypasses heal block. In Crucible, if this character's health is above 50%, reduce the duration of all negative effects on self and all accursed allies by 1, and that also includes trauma. So this is in Crucible. Her basic is basically able to just remove like the debuff decay that's actually on them. It's pretty crazy as far as Crucible goes for that. This attack is going to ignore the passes that trigger when a character drops below certain health, so stuff like Dr. Doom, Thanos Endgame, stuff like that. This attack redistributes a maximum of 25% of this character's max health. The ISO attack is going to end up doing the damage, steal 7% health instead of 10%. From the primary target, redistributes 150% of the health stolen to self and all accursed allies. This bypasses heal block. It's going to end up doing the decay effect. It's going to ignore the passive trigger, and it's going to do the max of 25%. So very powerful move for the basic. She's going to end up being a striker, in my opinion, for this team. Next up is going to be the special Soul Drain. This is a energy cost of 5/7. Steal 10% health from all enemies, redistribute 150% of the health stolen to self and all accursed allies. This bypasses heal block. Repeat this attack once. Now in Crucible, if this character has 2 or more accursed allies, not the full team, just 2 more accursed allies, which is a great trend in my opinion. Repeat this attack 2 times instead. This attack ignores passes that trigger when a character drops below certain health. Pretty much all of her moves have this line on there to where she can kind of ignore those health triggers on her moves. Each attack redistributes a maximum of 25% of this character's max health. Enemies killed by this attack cannot be revived. Clear all battlefield effects on the allied side. Her ultimate also has this. She's not going to allow any battlefield effects on her side of the field, which is amazing. And you can see this is not in Crucible. This is everywhere. This attack cannot be blocked. For the ultimate, this is a 8/8. This is going to be the turn 1 ability, Devour Essence. Steal 11% health from the primary target, redistributes 300% to self and all accursed allies. This bypasses heal block, flip one positive effect into a negative effect. If a target does not have any positive effects, apply trauma to the target. Repeat this attack up to 2 additional times for each accursed ally. In Crucible, repeat this attack up to 4 additional times for each accursed ally. So basically that's where it's going to do the 5 hits. If you take one member out and throw somebody else in, it's going to end up doing 4 total hits, which is still pretty amazing. If this character is above 50% max health, apply immunity to self and all accursed allies. This immunity is going to be very important to the team, and we're going to talk about that later. So allies, 2 accursed allies, flip all vulnerable on self and all accursed allies to defense up, flip all negative effects on self and all accursed allies to and applies evade. So that's really cool right there, how they're going to be getting that evade and the immunity. Each attack redistributes a maximum of 25% of this character's max health. This attack ignores passes that trigger when a character drops below a certain health. Clear the battlefield effect on the allied side. Very cool as far as that goes. The passive, her passive is heavily locked behind Crucible. Same with the hoods, which we're going to end up talking about the hood, I believe, after this one. In Crucible, until this character completes a turn. This character and all the cursed allies cannot gain slow, ability block, defense down, and trauma. This character and all the cursed allies cannot have their speed bar reduced. Very powerful mechanic. On enemy death, steal 5% health from the enemy with the highest health, redistributes 150% health stolen to the most injured ally. In Crucible, steal an additional 5% per accursed ally up to maximum of plus 20%, and fill the speed bar by 5% for self and all allies. This is every time they end up killing somebody on the other side of the field. So if they end up killing minions and stuff like that, that's going to start really ramping the team up. This attack also bypasses heal block. This attack ignores passes that trigger when a character drops below a certain health. This attack redistributes a maximum of 25% of this character's max health. In Crucible, all characters cannot gain barrier or regeneration, so they're really not going to have any way to protect themselves, because remember, until this character completes a turn, they also can't be getting slow, ability block, defense down, trauma, so they're going to have a pretty easy time to start kind of doing the initial barrage to the opponent. If this character or any accursed ally does not have defense up or minor defense up, that character gains plus 25% damage reduction and 25% resistance. So as you can see, there's some kind of key parts that's locked behind Crucible on here. Outside of it, if they were able to bring this portion here for the speed bar, I think that would end up helping this team out just a little bit. For Helverine, he's a villain, cosmic, mystic, not mythic, brawler, and accursed. He has a speed of 122. His basic is Hellfire Claws. Attack the primary target for 220% piercing. Apply defense down to the primary target. If the primary target has exposed, which all of his abilities have some form of exposed on there, because remember, he's the accursed of the exposed. Then he's going to be applying defense down for 2 turns instead of 1 turn. This cannot be blocked. For the ISOA, he's going to be doing the damage. He's going to apply defense down to the primary target. If the primary target has exposed, apply defense down for 2 turns instead. His special, Infernal Pursuit. He is a 4/6 for the special. So he's going to be opening with that ultimate. Attack primary target for 250% damage. Apply defense down. Chain to 4 adjacent targets for 250% damage and apply defense down. Counterattack's going to break this chain. If any target has exposed, attack the primary target for 10% of the target's max health. So you can kind of see how this exposed is going to be pretty important on there, because this does that chain. It's pretty easy to hit that exposed target to get this damage out there. And also if they have exposed, instead attack all enemies for 250% piercing and apply defense down for 2 turns. This attack cannot be blocked. The ultimate is Demon Fire. It's a 9/9 turn 1 ability. Attack all enemies for 300% piercing, flip 1 positive effect into a negative effect, and apply defense down. So he's going to be getting ways to get defense down out there pretty easily, which is great. If any target has exposed, attack a random target with exposed for 10% that target's max health. So again, exposed, very important for him. Deal an additional 300% piercing, plus flip all positive effects to negative effects, and apply defense down and trauma. Now in Crucible, if this character has 3 or more accursed allies, so not the full team, just need 3 extra allies, apply ability block to all enemies. In Crucible, apply disrupt and offense down to all enemy heroes, or to all enemy hero enemies. In Crucible, reduce the speed bar for all mutant villain enemies by 30%. So that's going to be kind of a call out to Omega Red Phoenix Force, to where you do that turn meter rewind to him. That would also be Apocalypse, which really don't see on the defensive side of things. So Mutant Villain's kind of that weird call out that's going to be on here. Enemies killed by this attack cannot be revived. This attack cannot be dodged, blocked, or counterattacked. The passive is Hell Reborn. On start of any turn, if no enemy has exposed, apply exposed to the most injured enemy. So that's on turn. So pretty cool right there. So if you end up bringing that extra character in to get exposed out there, when it goes to his turn, he's going to reapply an exposed out there with his passive. On any turn, if an enemy minion has exposed, attack that target for 500% piercing. This attack cannot be dodged or blocked. So kind of a call out there to like the Orcus for Sentinel or Kingpin. How we've been trying to find interesting ways to get taunt out there without putting it on one of our main guys. On turn, if 2 or more enemies are exposed, remove exposed from all enemies and heal self for 25% in this character's max health. In Crucible, while any enemy has exposed, this character cannot have their speed bar reduced. If this character has 3 or more accursed allies, enemies cannot gain defense up or death proof as well. So for the Hood, this character right here has a lot locked behind Crucible for his passive. It's like his whole passive, which is kind of unfortunate. Basic, Hellish Munitions. Attack primary target for 50% piercing. Bonus attack 5 times for 50% piercing. In Crucible, this attack cannot be blocked. So this right here is kind of the, to me, that call out to Phantom X. Remember how Phantom X, I think it was his ultimate, how it just kind of did like 5 or 6 blasts. It wasn't high damage, but piercing damage, that's something. And this is going to be ways to kind of punch through those death proofs to kind of get those killing blows. That's my thought process behind this one, because 6 attacks at 50%, that's 300% piercing total damage. ISO 8 counter, it's going to be another attack for 225% piercing. That is a massive hit for that ISO hit. Maybe Striker because of that. So that's going to be 7 hits at 300. So that's 525% piercing damage. Probably. For Helverine, I'm looking at Raider for him, by the way, for that one. All right, so for his special, Ballistic Rain 7/7. Attack primary target for 250% damage. Apply ability block. Attack all adjacent targets for 200% damage. If the primary target does not have ability block, bonus attack primary for 250% damage. In Crucible, this attack cannot be dodged or blocked. And I just realized, I don't think I went through his tags. Villain, Global, Mystic, Blaster, Accursed, the speed of 124. He's going to be going second on the team. So it's going to be Satana, the Hood, Helverine. Then it's going to go into, I believe, Mordo, and then Juggernauts, I believe. All right, so for the special, I already went over that. 250% damage, ability block, attack adjacent, ability block, bonus damage, and cannot be dodged or blocked. All right, so for the ultimate bullet time, this just kind of reeks of those John Woo films. 810, so very high cooldown. That's going to be a turn 2 ability on there. Attack primary and adjacent targets for 200% damage, plus flip 1 positive effect into a negative effect. If a target does not have any positive effects, apply trauma to that target. This attack deals an additional 200% damage to any target with safeguards. So those safeguard opponents out there just kind of get hit even harder. Repeat this attack 2 times. So remember, if they have that safeguard, this right here is going to be doing that additional damage as well. In Crucible, this attack cannot be blocked. Now for the passive, this right here, you can kind of see everything's kind of locked behind Crucible. So on a successful attack by this character or an accursed ally, apply bleed and heal block to the each attacked target. So that's very powerful for a passive. However, this portion right here, so in Crucible, enemies can only gain bonus damage and focus through positive effects. That doesn't sound terrible being locked behind Crucible. Fewer enemies can only gain bonus resistance and speed through positive effects. This is going to shut down Odin because he gets his speed through the charges. So that's going to be kind of a call out to stopping Odin right there. In Crucible, if this character has 3 or more cursed allies, enemies cannot gain speed up and charged. Your enemies cannot gain taunt. Enemies cannot assist. Enemies cannot fill speed bar for themselves or allies. Having all this locked behind Crucible is a lot. So basically, outside of that game mode, a successful attack by this character or an accursed ally, he's going to apply bleed and heal block to each attack target. So kind of a lighter portion of the passive, and the cooldowns are just a lot as far as he goes. He's still going to be a really good character, I think. All right, so now for Juggernaut and Mordo for their updates. What happens when an unstoppable force and a sorcerer using forbidden magic get upgraded for the cursed team? Find out below. So Juggernaut's going to get massive stat increases because he's such an old character. So health 368, damage 360, armor 126, focus 541, resistance 195, and a speed increase of plus 29. I believe that puts him at about 113 for his speed. His basic overwhelming blow. So it's not going to show the old. The old was like nothing to it. So in Crucible, if this character has 3 or more cursed allies and has ability block, fill the speed bar by 100%. This is a very interesting move because Dormammu has something that's very similar. If Dormammu has ability block, he fills speed bar by 80%. So basically, this is a free turn for Juggernaut if he ends up getting that ability block, which is pretty cool. When this character performs an ISO attack, counterattack, or assist, the attack does no additional effects besides the damage. For the special, immovable object. The new, gain the following effects. Taunt for 2 turns, defense up for 2 turns, immunity for 1 turn, which again, immunity is very important for Juggernaut. Deathproof, 2 regens, and then he's going to heal for 20% of his max health. In Crucible, if this character has 3 or more cursed allies, reduce the duration of all negative effects on self by 1. Any negative effect that has a duration of 0 expires instantly, including trauma. Heal self for 10% of this character's max health for each negative effect that has expired. For the ultimate, attack the primary and adjacent for 380% damage, and that's going to give 100% drain. This attack gains 80% damage per charged on this character. Characters killed by this attack cannot be revived. Passive, I'm the Juggernaut. On any turn and on any turn end, if this character has immunity, apply Safeguard to self and all accursed allies. So remember, Satana, she has that move. I believe it was her ultimate. Let's scroll back up here. So the passive, where is it? It's the ultimate right here. Apply immunity to self and all accursed. So when she does her turn 1 ultimate, that's going to get immunity on Juggernaut. That's going to then get it to where the whole team is going to have Safeguard, and that's her turn 1 ability. So I really see what they're trying to go for there, and it's a very interesting mechanic how that's going to end up working. Now the interesting thing, kind of double-sided sword, when this character loses immunity, reduce the duration of Safeguard and self on all accursed allies. So that's kind of the double-edged sword of the accursed team, is they're cursed, so there's negative thing that's going to happen, but there's positive thing that's going to happen as well. I think if there was a way to extend positive effects for this team, or maybe have a 2-turn immunity, that's going to end up working, because Juggernaut's so slow. Satana's going to end up doing the ult. That's going to put immunity out there. When it gets to Juggernaut's turn, immunity's going to drop off, Safeguard's going to drop off, and then he's going to end up having to do his special. Yeah, it's his special is going to get immunity back on him as well, which then is going to get the Safeguard back up. So it's a very interesting, weird mechanic, and it's kind of cool that they're trying new things. It's just very weird. I think he needed 2 turns of immunity to really get this moving. So on attack, if this character has a Magneto or Helverine ally, fill speed bar by 20% for self and all protector allies. So when Helverine starts getting hit, that's going to start speeding them up. So I'm thinking that Helverine's going to need to be adjacent to Juggernaut, so that way any splash damage that goes over to Helverine is going to end up pushing Juggernaut to kind of keep him going. When a cursed ally drops below 50% health, clear 3 negative effects on self. If this character's health is above 50%, gain taunt. So he's going to have that reflexive taunt for the team as well. So having those 3 diamonds on Juggernaut is going to be very important. In Crucible, the first time any enemy uses their ultimate ability, if this character does not have 2 or more exhaust, clear 1 exhaust from self and all accursed allies. Clear 5 negative effects from self and all accursed allies. This can only trigger once per Crucible. So this is kind of like those once per war callouts that they do for stuff like Liberty and Absolute A4, stuff like that. While this character has charge, this character cannot gain stun. So he has a pretty interesting rework. It really makes it to where the Juggernaut keeps going, which is pretty cool. Mordo, so for his stat updates, 285 health, 237 damage, 204 armor, 205 focus, 205 resistance. Speed did not change for him. His basic did not change either. His basic was damage and apply 2 negative effects to the enemy. So I'm looking at Striker for him. Juggernaut, I'm looking at maybe a Raider. Try to get those big hits that he kind of does out there. Kind of gets more vulnerables out on the other side of the field. The special is Mesmerize. Stun the primary target, plus 50% chance to blind up to 3 additional targets was the old. Let's jump down to the new. Apply stun to the primary. 50% chance to apply blind up to 4 additional random targets. If this character has 4 or more mystic allies, always apply blind for 2 turns up to an additional 2 random targets instead. Apply slow for 2 random targets. This attack cannot be blocked. The ultimate, Demons of Danak. The new on war offense. If this character has 2 or more Dark Hunter allies, we're not using Dark Hunters, so we can ignore this portion. In Crucible, apply 1 bleed for each accursed ally up to a maximum of 4 to all enemies. If this character has 3 or more accursed allies, reduce speed bar for all enemies by 30%. I wish this was used everywhere, making it to where we can actually get this benefit in war. I think would end up helping this team out, because otherwise they don't really have a way to do any turn meter rewind. They can kind of get blown up easily because, as you see, there's no way to really get this team speed up, turn meter, anything like that. Apply defense up for 2 turns to self and all mystic allies. This attack cannot miss, be blocked, or counterattacked. The passive, Too Many Sorcerers. On death of any character, very powerful, heal self and the most injured mystic ally for 10% of this character's max health. If the character that died was a mystic character, heal self and the most injured mystic ally for 50% of this character's max health instead. If the character that died was a mystic ally, generate 2 ability energy for self and the most injured supernatural ally. I wish this opened up as well to being accursed. That way you can have like an energy battery for the team. For that way, this team needs more to be useful outside of Cosmic Crucible. As you see, a lot of it is locked in Crucible. However, the interesting thing is they have 3 or more accursed allies, meaning there are ways where it could end up dropping, say, Juggernaut or dropping Mordo. We could throw in characters like Mephisto, Odin, Kahori. There are a lot of mystic allies we can throw with this team, even though they end up throwing out the exposed, which Helvrine ends up removing that and healing himself. He's going to be reapplying exposed anyways when it gets back to his turn. So it's very interesting how we have some theory crafting for this team. Just outside of the game mode, I think they are lacking a little bit. But let me know what you guys think about this team. Are you excited? Do you think that they need something else? I'm really excited to read your comments. If you guys did enjoy this video, please remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.